Okay, so now we're going to take a look at solving a system using what's called the addition method. Sometimes this method is also called the elimination method. So let's dive right in. So here we go. This one's example, solve, and um, again I'm going to do the two colors here. So x plus y equals to 7, and we have 4x minus y equals to 3. Now, I must admit this is an easy example to solve using the substitution method because we could solve for y or x pretty easily. Uh, but just bear with me. This is addition method works just as easily on this one as it does on the other one. Now, as the name suggests, there's some addition involved. And what you're going to do here is essentially add these two equations by combining like terms, like so. The hope is that when you add these two equations, one of the letters will combine with the other and cancel out. So if I add these two, I get 5x, the x's didn't cancel out, but the plus y and the minus y, they add together and cancel out, equals to 10, and then I can find x by dividing by 5, and I get x equals 2. Yes, it is that easy. And of course, once you find x, don't forget you have to find y. So I can use again either the blue or the red, or equation 1 or equation 2 to find y. So I'm going to use number 1. So using 1, I'm going to put in 2 for x. So 2 plus y equals to 7. And so subtract a 2, and I get y equals to 5. So my answer is 2 comma 5, x comma y, right there. Obviously this is the first example and it's pretty easy. The addition method really shines when you can't solve for one of the two equations, for one of the letters. So we'll build up to that, but let's take a look at this next example, and then we'll build up to that. So solve, and again let me write the first equation in blue and the second equation in red. Okay, so when you take a look at this one, you will notice first of all that adding these two equations does not make one of the letters cancel. In order for them to cancel, you would like to have, so this is what you would have been nice to have, right? So one situation would have been nice to have the 3x and so on there, and then had a negative 3x on the bottom. You don't have that. Another situation might have been to have 3x with a negative 5y here, and to have a positive 5y, which we have there, right? So we don't have the negative 5y in that first equation. Okay, we don't have the negative 5y because then when we add those, the y's cancel. So if you don't have them, what you can do is you can make that happen. So in this case, I'm going to say I want to make the x's go away. X's cancel out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, I always do it in pairs. So I take my second equation, which does not have a negative 3 in front of the x. And because I want the negative 3 in front of the x, I'm going to multiply this whole thing by a negative 3. Now if I did that, I get negative 3x, negative 15y equals to positive 6. And then up here, that goes along unchanged. And now I can add these, and you'll see that the x's cancel. You see that? So be real careful. Make sure you target one of the variables and multiply in order to make it cancel. One's got to be positive, one's got to be negative. Make sure you distribute carefully. Make sure you multiply all the letters and numbers. And then solve for the y. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 14. Y is equal to negative over positive is negative 14 over 14 is 1. Of course, once you know the y, you can find the x. It doesn't matter which equation you use. I'm going to use the red one. Seems like that's the easiest one to find the x with. X plus 5. Now instead of the y, I'm going to use negative 1 equals to negative 2. So this is x minus 5 equals negative 2. And then if I add 5, x is equal to 3. So my answer is x, 3, y minus 1. Always in that order, carefully. Okay. So what did we do for this problem? We picked one of the letters and we made the coefficients, that's the technical term, coefficients match. Right? And how do we make the coefficients match? We made it match by multiplying through that whole equation in order to make it match. Now there are some conditions for this addition method to work. Um, so one of the things you notice is that the letters have to line up nicely in order for things to cancel, right? So if you're going to use the addition method, you want to make sure the variables are on the same side in both equations. 2, you want to pick one of the variables, pick one variable, it does not matter which one, to eliminate. 3, you want to adjust the coefficients. If necessary. 4, add equations. 5, solve. 6, find the other variable. I know this seems like a lot of steps, but it really is helpful in situations where um, solving for one of the variables for the substitution method is really difficult to do. So keep that in mind. We'll take a look at more examples in the next video.